There are way too many animes that we cannot just watch them all, so we have to choose carefully the ones we watch. With that in mind, I decided to do a list with 7 animes that you simply cannot miss, or at least for you to give it a try. Let's see how many of these have you already watched, or if there's any new to you. Let me know in the comments which one is your favorite, or which one are you adding to your watch list after this. And of course, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe, or your Wi-Fi will mysteriously stop working during your next anime binge. Anyways, let's get into the video. The first anime on this list is one I always recommend to people who've never watched anime before. It's the perfect gateway, and of course, I'm talking about Death Note. This anime is about a genius high school student who finds a notebook with the power to kill anyone, as long as you write their name on it. And just like any of us would do in this situation, he burns the notebook and walks away like a responsible human being. Yeah, right. Instead, he starts killing more people than I kill mosquitoes in the summer. Naturally, all those mysterious deaths attract attention, and the world's greatest detective is hard to track down the killer. But this isn't your average detective. He's addicted to sugar, sits in a chair like a 90-year-old Japanese grandpa using a squat toilet, and still manages to outsmart everyone. What follow is a crazy intense mind game between Light Yagami and L, a battle of wits that will make you feel dumber than Shrek Donkey. So, let me ask you, would you use the Death Note or not? Be honest. Well, that brings us to the second anime on this list, made by the same creators of Death Note, but this time with a much more grounded and a casual story. I'm talking about Beckman. Beckman follows the story of 2 high school boys who dream of becoming mangakas, Moritaka Mashiro and Akito Takagi. Mashiro is a talented artist whose uncle used to be a manga author, and Takagi is a top student in school who dreams of writing manga scripts. Together, these two form a duo and set off the long, painful, sleep-deprived, coffee-fueled journey of trying to make it in the manga industry. Oh, and I almost forgot. Mashiro has a crush on a girl in his class. One day, Takagi sets up a very suspicious ambush, totally innocent plan, that ends up with Mashiro confessing to the girl, Miho. And not just a simple, I like you kind of confession. No, our boy jumps straight to the finish line and proposes marriage. The very first time they ever talk. Super smooth, huh? Now, you would expect her to say no on the spot, because, well, that's not how the things work, right? But plot twist, she says yes. But with a catch. They can only get married once both of them achieve their dreams. He becomes a published mangaka, and she becomes the voice actress for the main character in the anime adaptation of his manga. Basically, she gave him a borderline impossible side quest and he accepted like a true shonen protagonist. So the anime followed their journey through the world of manga publishing, filled with passion, determination, rivalries, awkward confessions, and a lot of deadlines. Most importantly, it shows in a surprising realistic and detailed way just how hard it is to become a successful mangaka in such a competitive industry. It's an inspiring story that feels way more intense than it should, considering no one has supernatural powers or death notebooks, just pens, paper, and pure willpower. Well, let's get into the next one. The third anime on this list is One Punch Man. The anime follows the story of Saitama, a man so powerful he can defeat any enemy with a single punch. Unlike most shonen animes where we follow the protagonist's journey of growth and training, Saitama is already at the final level, and as a result, he's constantly bored and depressed because no one can give him a good fight anymore. Saitama is a brilliant character, and that brilliance shines the most from his bald head. This anime is a perfect choice for anyone who loves comedy mixed with action and heroes. Even though Saitama is insanely strong, the show is full of hilarious and lovable side characters, and a whole lineup of absurd villains. It doesn't just deliver insane action, it also makes fun of classic shonen cliché. Over-the-top training arcs? Check. Villains who give long dramatic speeches before fighting? Yeah. A protagonist who's supposed to struggle and grow? Nope, Saitama skips all that and just knocks everyone out with one lazy punch. The genius of One Punch Man is that it works both as an intense action anime and as a satire of everything we have come to expect from the genre. It's like watching Dragon Ball, Naruto, Bleach, Hunter x Hunter, One Piece, but with someone constantly poking fun at them from the inside. Our guy wears a yellow pajama, dishwashing gloves, and got bald from doing 100 push-ups a day. What's not to like here? This man really said forget Super Saiyan and just go Super Ball. Anyway, let's move on. For our next one on this list, our number 4 pick is for anyone who loves sport animes with top tier animation and unforgettable characters. And of course, I'm talking about Kurokon Basket. As the name suggests, yes, this is an anime about basketball. But not just basketball, we're talking about insane jumps, almost supernatural skills, and moments that will make you think, I could totally do that in real life. And let me tell you that you probably can't. But you still can try. The story kicks off with the legendary Kiseki no Sedai, or for the English-speaking folks, the Generation of Miracles. This was an unbeatable group that completely dominated the Japanese high school basketball scene, until they split up, with each member joining a different team. And that's when we meet our main duo, Kagami and Kuroko. Kagami is the new guy that just arrived from the United States, with the physique of a shonen protagonist and a dream to become the best. He joins Seirin High School basketball team, and right from the first practice, you just know this guy was born to play. Kuroko, on the other hand, well, let's just say is the opposite. Small, skinny, with absolutely no presence on the court. In fact, his presence is so minimal that if he ever disappeared, people might only realize it when the bill at the restaurant comes. But that lack of presence, it's his secret weapon. Kuroko is basically the basketball version of a ninja, and we get to know that he's also the 6th Phantom member of the Generation of Miracles. He makes you feel like you're playing against a ghost. And so begins Kagami and Kuroko mission to win the National High School Championship, facing off against insane teams with each member of the Generation of Miracles, each one with crazier abilities than the last one, all wrapped in epic scenes above average animation and moments that will make you want to grab a basketball and hit the court yourself. I'll have to admit it, every time I watch a good sport anime, I feel like doing sport myself. But I don't think I'm solo on this one. Right? Next up on this list is solo leveling. If you like a main character with a lot of aura and epic moments, but not the type who's already the most powerful guy in the universe from episode 1 like Saitama from One Punch Man, and you're not into power scaling shows that drag on 1000 episodes like One Piece, then solo leveling is definitely for you. Unlike the other anime on this list that come from Japan, Solo Leveling is an anime adaptation of a South Korean manhwa. It tells the story of Sun Jin-woo, our protagonist, who lives in a world where portals open up leading to dungeons of various difficulty levels. Hunters are the brave folks responsible for closing these portals and wiping out the monsters before they escape into the human world. At the beginning, Jin-woo is known as the weakest hunter ever, but then, during an incident in a dungeon way above his level, he almost dies. After waking up, he's suddenly tied to a system that is basically like a real-life RPG game. Every battle and challenge boosts his stats, and not slowly either. We're talking about fast and more importantly, solo leveling, gaining many skills from speed, strength, dexterity, magic, and necromancy. He becomes incredibly overpowered. Not only is he extremely strong on his own, but he can also turn his enemies into shadows to fight by his side, effectively creating an army. In just a few episodes, he goes from the weakest hunter in Korea to one of the strongest in the world. But at the same time, leaving us with many questions like, what is this mysterious system? Who put it there? Does Jinwoo have a limit to his power? Or is he gonna keep leveling up forever? And honestly, this anime hooked me up with its fast pacing and those epic moments that make you wanna shout at your screen. I'm pretty sure it will grab you too. But don't forget to scratch your neck from all the jaw drops that you will get. In 6th place on this list, we have Classroom of the Elite. The anime takes place at Tokyo Koko Ikei, a school where every student who has ever graduated has gone in to succeed, especially those from the top class. The school is divided into tiers, ranging from D to A, with A being at the top and D being the lowest. In this school, students are rewarded with points based on their performance in exams, tests, and favors. These points can be used for everything, from buying food at the market to even changing exam grades. The story follows a student from Class D, Kyotaka Ayonokoji. At this point, you might be thinking this is a typical anime where the main character starts with the worst class and gradually improves over time. But you're wrong. Ayonokoji is in the Class D because he wanted to be there. While the other students tried to score as high as possible to be placed in the top tier class, Ayonokoji calculated the exact score he needed not only to get into the school, but also ensure he was placed in Class D. Although we don't know much about the protagonist's past, we do see glimpses of his childhood in some sort of experiment involving children in a white room. Something that feels very reminiscent of Stranger Things in that regard, but without superpowers. Ayonokoji shows no emotions or expressions. He will gradually raise Class D to the top, using anyone around him without a second thought. To him, other people's dreams and ambitions are nothing more than pieces on his chessboard, and he'll do all of this without drawing attention, often letting others take credit for his victories. It's an anime that will make you think, rewind, reread, and realize you have to rethink everything again. And while there are many intelligent characters, Ayano Koji always seems to be one step ahead of everyone. And you, what do you think about this anime so far? What will be the animes that you will recommend me to watch? Tell me in the comments down below. And that brings us to the last anime on this list, which is Vinland Saga. The anime takes place at the beginning of the 11th century, in an era of Vikings, wars, and exploration. Throughout the story, we follow our protagonist, Thorfinn, a dreamy young boy enchanted by the tales of a fertile and peaceful land where war and inequality do not exist, a place known as Vinland. Early in the anime, Thorfinn witnesses his father, a former warrior highly respected and feared on the battlefield, being killed by a mercenary named Askeladd. From that moment, the boy who once lived in a fantasy world begins to discover the harsh reality of the world around him. Little by little, we follow Thorfinn as he crosses the seasons of his own life. From the restless fire of youth to the calm weight of maturity, his actions and choices shifting as he himself transforms. The burning desire that once drove him to grow stronger and avenge his father's death now opens path for trials, encounters, and losses, leading him step by step from a world fueled by hatred to a horizon where forgiveness takes root. Along the way, we can't help but reflect on our own lives, as if we are walking beside him. Phrases like, "a true warrior doesn't need a sword," spoken by his father, might sound like something just to seem cool at first, but in reality, it's a teaching that can be interpreted in many deeper ways. And while the anime does feature top-tier animation quality, great fights, strong characters, and an engaging story, the message it carries make it far more philosophical and powerful than just another action anime. Whew. And that makes my list of 7 animes I recommend to pretty much anyone. Even though it's a personal list, I try to pick shows with totally different vibes, so there's something for everyone. I also left out the big shonen series. They are great, but super long too. And I wanted to focus on shorter anime that people with less time can enjoy without a huge commitment. I try to give you a feel for each series by sharing them in my own way. And I want you to tell me also 7 animes you would recommend me to watch. But don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!